Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch and welcome to my studio. Many beginner artists say that they are overwhelmed with the amount of tools available on the market. Today I will show you just a simple example of how to shorten your palette or how to make maximum mixes out of very small ready-made palettes. Today I will show you an example of how to test, how to choose your first palettes. Let's see what can we do out of these. What I already like about this exact palette, that it has two of each primaries, 2 yellows, 2 reds and 2 blues, and it will allow you to create bright secondary colors. When you get a new palette and a new brush, usually the tip of the brush is protected with plastic tube which you remove, and the tip has some kind of glue on it. To remove this glue you need to wash your brush and gently press on a paper towel and remove this glue layer. Before I start swatching, I will water my palette with water dispenser, or you can add water manually from your glass. Let's start our swatching with lemon yellow. When you make swatches, always try to apply nice amount of paints. The swatches should not be too watery. And always try to create nice even wash and nice even shape. Every time you make a swatch, it's a small little practice. Now let's compare it with the other yellow. It's gamboge yellow. It's you can see that it has a little bit of orange undertone in it. It feels a little bit warmer than the lemon one. Now let's test reds. First one is cadmium red, and I would say it's very close to, so to say, the primary classic red. The second red from the palette, alizarin crimson, which belongs to red-violet group, or as we often call them, pinks. And it already, if you compare these two reds, alizarin crimson has some violet in it, and cadmium red has some orange. Primaries, blues. There will be cobalt blue and ultramarine blue. All cobalts, they have a little bit of granulation in it. Paint, for example, skies. Keep this in mind. Same for ultramarine blue. When I do swatches, I try to distribute paints evenly and create nice shape. So now we have 2 yellows, 2 reds and 2 blues. We have green color and earthy tones, but we will come back to that later. First we need to see what's happening with secondary colors. Secondary colors we get when we mix our primaries. When I mix colors, I very often refer to Michael Wilcox's color system and his famous book Blue and Yellow Don't Make Green. You can also test your paints using color wheel approach, and Michael Wilcox suggests to put primaries in pairs and then create mixes. But today we will make it in a little bit simpler way. If you are interested in this approach, just let me know in comments. Now let's make mixes. First, I will mix gamboge hue and cadmium red, because they both have orange undertone, and I would like to get the most bright orange as a secondary color. For this tutorial, I will try to stay with 50-50 amount of each paint. Now, let's see how these primaries will work together. So I'm taking warm yellow, gamboge, and I use alizarin crimson to mix it. And you see, you are not getting orange color, right? You are getting something very different, more rusty. This is very beautiful color. I can imagine painting roses, transparent roses, classical roses in this color. They will look more interesting, intricate, natural than, for example, if we use just cadmium red. Next step will be to create violets. You get violets when you mix pink and blue, not red and blue. Everybody say to get purple you need to mix red and blue, which is wrong. You never get a nice purple color out of mixing red and blue, and I will show you in a moment. So we have our red, cadmium red, and if I mix it with cobalt blue, we will get a nice maroon color. This is not a purple color, right? Very beautiful color. Again, I can see painting flowers in this shade. It's very beautiful, and because of cobalt, it creates very subtle granulated texture. You can even see right here on the palette that the particles starting to push up each other in different direction and create these nice bleeds. But now let's go back to our purple color. I will use alizarin crimson, which already has a lot of purple tone in it, and I will mix it with ultramarine blue, which also has a little bit of purple. Ultramarine blue belongs to blue-purple group. And so mixing of two paints with purple will finally give us very beautiful lavender purple. And again, if you play around with the amount of each paint, now let's make greens. And greens we get from yellow and blue. So lemon yellow with cobalt blue will give you a little bit dusty sage green, very close to cobalt green if you have in your palettes that one. Very beautiful. You can paint eucalyptus. A lot of greenery can be painted in this with this mix. Now let's have a look what will happen if we mix gamboge and ultramarine blue. So ultramarine blue now is coming into the mix. And now let's have a look. Surprisingly, they don't differ so much. And I will try to remix blues with different yellows to see what happens. Lemon yellow with ultramarine blue, and now ultramarine blue with lemon blue will give us this bright May green, spring green color, nice and transparent and fresh. And this is nice mix you might like to remember. Aren't you curious to test what offers the ready green? Ready green is a ochre green dark, and it's very intense, very close to emerald green color. I know that some artists say that no need to have ready green color in your palette because you can mix greens. But now we literally saw, we tested it, we would not be able to get color even close to this ready one out of our paints, right? That's why it's very important to have at least one green color. I like phthalo green, but hookah green dark works always nice. Green color allows you to create beautiful mixes. You can watch my tutorial about mixing green colors. But now let's just test this green with just a few of mixes from our palette. Of course, it will be mixes with yellows to get my lemon yellow is already a little bit in the green side, to get extra bright greens. That shows us that without ready green in your palette, you would not be able to create these clear green shades. What we were able to create is relatively dusty, granulated mixes. After we tested our primaries, after we created our secondary mixes and realized that we will need this green color, let me show you just a few examples of mixes with green. Firstly, let's mix it with alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson. And with alizarin crimson, you will get very beautiful, deep green, sage green color. I like this mix a lot. I use it very often for greenery, roses greenery, for example. And you see how it will beautifully match. For example, with this mix, it was alizarin crimson, cobalt blue. Now let's see what will happen if we mix this green, same green, with cobalt. Mixing it with cobalt will create nice turquoise greenery. Of course, now it's very tempting to test it with red, with cadmium red, hookah green deep with cadmium red, depending a little bit on the amount of each color. You will either get, I'll show you, either gray color, nice gray color, or if we add a little bit more of red, change the proportion, we will move more into earthy sector, into brown sector, more close to sepia color. Very beautiful mixes. You can already see how colors in my plate started to mix with each other, and it's already something beautiful happening here. For now, we use just 7 paints. 7 paints. We have very wide range of mixes. This set also has earthy tones. This is yellow ochre, raw sienna, very light, very transparent, and ochre is a little bit more gouache, and burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is also one of my favorite colors. I use it very often in mixes to desaturate a little bit brightness and make it more vintage style. So therefore I will show you again one of my favorite mixes, green with burnt sienna. Will allow you to create that green which we usually use for painting fir trees, winter greenery, eucalyptus, roses. Having one basic green really enrich your palettes. Now you can do as an exercise, you can mix earthy tones with the primary colors. Because sometimes that allows you
to get very unique mixes. I will show you just one example. I would like to mix alizarin crimson with burnt sienna. It will create this desaturated red color, red brick color, very often used for landscapes, again for flowers. It's more interesting tone than just red and more complex tone than just burnt sienna. The last paint I haven't shown yet, it's Payne's Gray. Black color is great in mixes, and I think it's worth to record a lesson about mixes with blacks. Let me know if you will be interested in that. As your exercise or as your homework, I would recommend you either to take your palettes, first find primaries, then mix secondaries, then add green, ready-made green, create mixes with green, and test earthy tones. If you do not have small palettes like this, just pick up from your huge choice of paints 2 of each primaries, 2 yellows, 2 reds, 2 blues, 1 green, and 1 or 2 earthy tones, and just try to stick with this amount of paints. And you see how this small amount, this short palette, can give you very big opportunities for mixing colors, for getting very, very beautiful, unusual, rich mixes. And because we basically mix same colors, more or less, your color palette will stay very matching, organic, and pleasant. There will be no contradiction between colors. I would say the big choice would not make your painting life easier. On the opposite, if you start with minimal, with basic palettes, it will evolve your color understanding more gradually, and you will know better your colors, paints from your palettes. You will be able to create different mixes, and then you can gradually add more and more new palettes into your palette. Today I will show you an example of how to test, how to choose your first palettes, and if you already have a lot of paints, how to create a lot of mixes with minimum amount of paints.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have questions about mixing colors, picking up paints, about color harmonies and so on, just drop your questions in comments, and I will prepare more lessons about color mixing. See you next time. Bye bye.